So like I was saying, ClassDojo brings support from home. It's not only for classroom use. This app allows parents at home to take a look at their students' school life. This program is actually an app that can be accessed through a website, or it can be downloaded from any app store onto any smartphone. ClassDojo is totally free and user-friendly. ClassDojo is also an effective way of communication. Parents can be kept up to date on their students' progress and behaviors in the classroom. So if a student is recognized for a positive or a negative behavior, then the parent is immediately notified and they can see their students' progress in real time. Teachers can also share photos and videos to the class story in the section of the app, so parents can take a look at what their student is doing in the classroom. Messages could also be sent through this app. It allows the teacher to be able to send a whole class or individual message to parents, which can be delivered through the use of an email or text message. It's totally up to the choice of the parent. With the in-app message, this could be very helpful for things like a reminder. If you have a field trip coming up and you need the permission slip being sent in, then this would be a great way to contact the parents. Parents, you can also take a gander at your child's behavior donut, which is a circle graph that shows the breakdown of behaviors for the chosen period of time. This would be looking at your students' positive and negative behaviors that were recognized in the classroom. ClassDojo also gives students a sense of ownership. Each student has their own profile represented by a little monster that you see on our screen. Our students would be able to view their dojo points as well as their progress over time, and students cannot view other students' profiles, so there's no need for unnecessary comparison within the classroom. By letting students vote on rewards and encouraging them to customize their avatars and checking their reports gives them a sense of ownership. Students will be also able to access videos that promote positive classroom behaviors such as teamwork, and they can upload their own photos and videos which could be added to their portfolios.
As a teacher, I love it when my students feel ownership for what we're doing in class, for what they're learning. Creating their own portfolios on student stories has been so exciting. Each time they post, it's like a mini celebration. They light up. Learning doesn't stop when my students leave the classroom. Parents and students talk about their portfolio at home, and it's obvious the next day.
I like getting my own story to add photos to because my mom and my dad see it, and then they hang out with me and talk about it.
With student stories, everyone gets to show off what they can do. They get to tell their own story.
So this obviously gives the students a sense of ownership, and they want to share it with their parents and have their parents involved in their work. ClassDojo also brings a classroom together. Every aspect of this app helps make a classroom become a community. The use of the classroom behavior system, the teamwork app creates, and the involvement of the parents from outside the classroom all contribute to making our room a community. To make ClassDojo successful in our classroom, it'll take a team, but I know that it will totally benefit us. This quote was presented in the video earlier. If you could change a classroom, you can change a community, and if you can change enough communities, you can change the world. It's obvious that ClassDojo is completely customizable to any type of classroom. Students who have learning differences could potentially have lower self-esteem, and through the use of ClassDojo in our classroom, our students will strive to better themselves, and the app will motivate them to participate. Earning ClassDojo points is such a rewarding feeling that every student will want to have. So I can't wait for you to join us in using ClassDojo this year.
Another way you can introduce technology into our classrooms is Remind. It's an app, just like the other two. Remind, formerly Remind 101, is a free text messaging app that helps teachers, students, and parents communicate quickly and effectively by connecting school communities. Remind makes it easy for everyone to succeed together. An overview of it is Remind lets teachers text message students and parents without giving out their cell phone number. All communication is done through the app. The texts go from the teacher to the classes you set up and parents that were included. Teachers can message individual students as well for reassurance, redirection, and repetition. First, you download the app and sign in. It's free for teachers and available in the United States and Canada. Then you create your first class that receives a number assigned by Remind. When students and parents send a text to that number, they automatically subscribe to that class and will begin receiving messages. Messages can be sent by your phone or email. You don't have to use your smartphone. You can create as many as 10 classes. Here's how it works. Log into Remind website via the app on your iPhone or Android phone. You can send messages immediately or schedule them for later. Some teachers reported that they also use it to send students a quick question or challenge question or do their exit tickets during the day, but most simply use it to remind students of upcoming assignments. Tests and quizzes and homework assignments. Initially, you may only use it once or twice a week as simply a reminder of upcoming assignments, but as you get more comfortable and network with other teachers who use it, you'll probably use it a lot more. The company reports that teachers use the app to send out an average of 5.8 messages a week. Other features of the app is a message history log that constantly maintained and can never be edited or deleted. Translate messages into more than 70 languages. See who's read your messages and who's missing out. And students can also make their own little groups, like our groups for this assignment in the class. Oh, reviews. I like the review section of the app. When you read the review section, the site gives testimonials from real teachers with their names, school district, and usually a picture or contact information versus the generic Mrs. Smith or Mr. Johnson. One highlight from the reviews included: a teacher starts to use the tool, tends to spread throughout the school like wildfire. The other highlights are many of the students and parents reviewed this app. The thought put into it reviewing the app and making helpful suggestions by middle school and high school students was impressive. The fact that a 12-year-old would take time to do anything outside of their little lives to review a school app is pretty impressive. And the reviews by parents is what brings me to my last and most important point: connection to parents. What we do in the classroom every day is much stronger than with the support of family at home. When we have a cohesive team work going, supporting students' needs and reinforcing educational goals, because But like all relationships, it comes down to the communication. Remind allows for that communication on an easy-to-use platform, conveniently on your phone. Remind has proven especially popular in low-income school districts where parent engagement is a key issue for students, and parents sometimes erratic work schedules can make it difficult to get in touch with. One teacher testimony from Dominique Roberts, a history teacher at the University High School in Newark, New Jersey. She said, "I've been messaging one student's mom telling her when he's not doing his homework or if he fell asleep in class today. Roberts said the mom's on top of it and his grade improved by 2-letter grades from the first to second marking period just by keeping up with her." So start applying the useful applications of this app today.
So I'm going to show you the Remind app now. This is an actual thread that I have with a student. So for instance, he messaged me and said, what article? I didn't get it. Can you email a link for it? Because I had given a homework assignment and he wasn't present there. So all I did was copy and pasted the link and sent it to, and then he wrote back thanks. So that was a private message, and that's the best way to do that for students if they need you to repeat or they weren't present for class. Also, I like to send just blanket messages to remind my students what to do. So, for instance, remember to read and analyze the Newsweek article. As well as students can have group messages with themselves. So what they do is when you go to post a thread, you click here and it'll come up and ask you if you want a class announcement, a group conversation, an individual message, or activity. So it also helps students when they're working on group projects to come together and share their ideas and make sure that they're all working together. And as Chris said, that there's over 70 languages as which it translates. So it works really well when you have a student whose parents don't speak English. You can send messages to them through Remind, and it will translate them for you. So you can get rid of that person in between that needs to translate. I also find it very helpful for my students because, like I said, they have group messages, so they talk a lot about the homework. If they're not understanding what is going on, they can have a conversation with one another, and they can work it through together and help each other out. It also works well with parents, like Chris was saying, that you can stay on top of your students if you send messages to their parents. I've done that where I'll send a message to my student's parent, and I'll say, so-and-so wasn't acting the way they normally were today. Is there anything going on that I should be aware of? And then the parent would send me a message back through Remind and say that, you know what, it's my fault. I'm sorry. They got a new alarm clock. It didn't go off this morning. And this was a student who was really adamant on routine. So his routine was messed up, so therefore his whole day was messed up, and he came into class all messed up. So that was our presentation. Thank you.